Katie Vasquez. A landmark ruling in Alabama could have a ripple effect across the country. The Supreme Court for the state has recognized embryos as human life, a cornerstone belief of the Catholic Church. A pro-life win in Alabama.
Now the court is saying that that's a person.
The state Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos can be considered children under state law, and someone destroying them could be held liable for wrongful death. The CEO of Resolve, a national infertility association, says that designation has widespread consequences.
Can we freeze embryos? I don't know. Can you freeze a person?
The court's ruling stems from an appeals case involving 3 couples whose frozen embryos were destroyed in 2020. It happened as a hospital patient removed them from where they were stored in the clinic and dropped them on the floor. The parents sued for wrongful death, but a trial court dismissed their claims, saying the embryos did not fit in the definition of a person or child. After the 8-1 vote, the lone dissenting associate justice said the decision almost certainly ends the creation of frozen embryos through in vitro fertilization in Alabama.
We might see this spread into other states as well.
In defending the ruling, another associate justice said the people of Alabama require the court to treat every human being in accordance with the fear of a holy God. The Catholic Church has spoken out against IVF, particularly for the treatment of embryos. A 1987 Vatican document says IVF is never acceptable because it removes conception from the marital act. The document says it also treats a baby as a product, violating the child's integrity as a human being with an immortal soul from the moment of conception. Several pro-life scholars are pushing back on a new abortion pill report. The study in the medical journal Nature Medicine claims the pills are safe and effective. Pro-lifers are questioning the findings, noting it relies on self-reported survey results instead of concrete data. Stay with Currents News and the tablet for continuing coverage of the pro-life fight. We are officially 1 week into the Diocese of Brooklyn's Lenton Pilgrimage, and Bishop Robert Brennan has been leading every step of the way. Wednesday's stop was Immaculate Conception Church in Astoria, where Bishop Brennan celebrated Mass. He's leading a group of pilgrims who are trying to attend a majority of the pilgrimage, like Diane DiBernardo from Immaculate Heart of Mary Church in Brooklyn, who has a goal of making at least 20 stops, but wants to attend more. She told Currents News seeing the familiar faces at all the different stops has been encouraging her in her Lenten journey.
It's exciting to see how many people came today. And it's exciting to recognize faces along the way, and also to see people from each parish as you go. That the faithful of Brooklyn and Queens are out and working on the pilgrimage.
There are still plenty of stops along the Lenton Pilgrimage if you want to join. The faithful are stopping at 40 churches, 22 in Brooklyn and 18 in Queens, and will travel in almost like a circle. It began on Ash Wednesday at the Cathedral Basilica of St. James and will go through Brooklyn into Queens and eventually wind up in Brooklyn again. And at the end, parishioners can celebrate Christ's death and resurrection at their own parishes. To see all the stops the pilgrims will make, just download the Lenton Pilgrimage app. All you have to do is search Lenton Pilgrimage on the app or Google Play Store. And if you can't be there in person, the app helps you there too. You can join the prayer community right from the palm of your hand. You can read more about that app in this week's tablet, see all its features, including the prayer intentions and a list of all the participating churches, plus hear from the minds behind the app and this year's pilgrimage. Also in the paper, a history lesson on Roman Catholicism in China. Those people of faith arrived there in the 8th century, and missionary priests built their ministries over the next 1,200 years, despite being silenced by the Chinese government. So just pick up a paper at your local church to read all these stories and more. You can also subscribe online to get future papers sent to you. That's at thetablet.org. Wednesday marked a dark day in Catholic history for one of those missionary priests. It was 72 years ago that Bishop Francis Xavier Ford died in a communist Chinese prison. The Brooklyn-born bishop was part of Maryknoll, a Catholic society of priests and brothers who share God's compassion and love with the poor, sick, and those in need all over the world. Bishop Ford served for 20 years in southeastern China, growing a flock of 20,000 people and helping to establish the first Maryknoll Sisters Convent in China. Catholics in Brooklyn honored him with a mass at the Cathedral Basilica of St. James. A Maryknoll priest who was working with the Diocese of Brooklyn on Bishop Ford's canonization cause was among those in attendance. Bishop Ford is currently a servant of God, with Brooklynites hoping he will one day become a saint. You can watch masses every day, multiple times a day, thanks to Net TV. It starts at 8 a.m. with an English Mass, then there's a 9 a.m. Spanish Mass, 10 a.m. Creole Mass, and a final 12 p.m. English Mass. Looking to the weekend, on Saturday, there's a 4 p.m. Italian Mass and 5 p.m. Polish Mass. And on Sunday, Net TV broadcasts a 9 a.m. Creole Mass, 11 a.m. English Mass, and a 1:30 p.m. Spanish Mass. A Haitian bishop is in stable condition after he was caught in an explosion this past weekend. Bishop Pierre-Andre Dumas was visiting the country's capital of Port-au-Prince when an explosion reportedly reached the house he was staying in. The Catholic bishops of Haiti have not released any additional details about the blast or Bishop Dumas's condition. This past January was the bloodiest month for Haiti in more than 2 years. According to the UN, more than 1,100 people were killed, injured, or kidnapped. That includes some 806 people not involved in violent gang wars and some 300 gang members. Now to the Holy See, work has begun to restore an iconic part of St. Peter's Basilica. Scaffolding is up around the nearly 400-year-old sculpted canopy towering over the main altar. The Holy See says it has gathered dust, cracks, and rust over the centuries. So they're embarking on a 10-month-long project to clean, repair, and protect the 17th century canopy. One of the men in charge of the restoration, Alberto Capanucci, describes the project's unique set of challenges.
In this case, what's difficult is its shape. Beyond that, there is the challenge of multi-materialism. That is, we don't have just one medium. We have more than one, from metals like bronze to wood, plaster, and stone.
The whole project is expected to cost more than $760,000, a bill that the Knights of Columbus are set to cover. And finally tonight, there could be some Florida saints in the future. A canonization effort is growing for a group who died for their faith between 1549 and 1715 in what is now modern-day Florida. The nearly 60 martyrs includes Native Americans and Spanish missionaries. While there are no physical relics of these martyrs, the Spanish missionaries kept detailed records of their stories. The Diocese of Pensacola-Tallahassee plans to build a shrine on the mission site to honor their legacy. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Katie Vasquez. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.